If there's one fish I've come to love over the years, it's the sturgeon. I remember the first time I caught one and admired it up close. I mean, really looked at it. Ancient, armoured, and unlike anything else you'll ever pull from the depths. And the more I learned about this animal, the more extraordinary it became. Its lineage has occupied our waters for over 200 million years. The order to which it belongs, Accipenserriformes, first appears in the fossil record during the early Jurassic. True sturgeons, the family Accipenseridae, emerged later, in the late Cretaceous. They were here when the last of the non-avian dinosaurs disappeared, and they're still here now. But here's what stops you in your tracks the first time you really look at one. No pike has this, no perch, or even trout. It doesn't have scales. It has shields. 5 distinct rows of interlocking bony armour plates called scutes, each one a structural fortress in its own right. In this video, we're going to understand exactly what that armour is, where it comes from at a cellular level, and why, after 200 million years, it hasn't needed a single redesign. To understand what you're looking at, you need to understand where the sturgeon sits in the story of fish evolution. It belongs to a primitive lineage called Accipenseridae, an ancient family of bony fish. While modern predators like the northern pike evolved lightweight, flexible, overlapping scales for speed and manoeuvrability, the sturgeon took a different path. It kept its walls up. The word scute comes from the Latin scutum, meaning shield. That is precisely what they are. A sturgeon carries 5 primary rows of these plates, one running along the ridge of the back, the dorsal row, 2 running down its flanks, the lateral rows, and 2 protecting the belly, the ventral rows. If you ever had the privilege of handling one, you already know what I mean. But what actually are they at a biological level? These scutes are heavily modified gonoid scales. In the most primitive fish, gonoid scales are diamond-shaped plates covered in an enamel-rich substance called gonoin. In the sturgeon, evolution made a radical decision. It stopped covering the entire body in small plates and instead concentrated that armour into massive, localized plates, leaving the rest of the skin thick, smooth, and scaleless. On some species, the sturtlet being a perfect example, you can still see the ancestral diamond geometry clearly in the scute shape. That crisp, angular profile along the flank isn't random. It's a direct echo of the original design. For a long time, biologists wanted to know exactly how these structures form, and a landmark study in 2023 out of the California Institute of Technology, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, gave us a remarkable answer. When a sturtlet sturgeon embryo develops, a specific population of stem cells, called trunk neural crest cells, migrates throughout the body. Neural crest cells are found in all vertebrates, including us. In humans, a related population called cranial neural crest cells give rise to the dentine in your teeth. In the sturgeon, the trunk version of those same cells migrates down into the lower vascular layer of the skin, the dermis, where they differentiate into osteoblasts, bone-forming cells. That means a sturgeon's scutes are not formed by the outer layer of the skin, the way a lizard's scales are. They are grown from deep within the living dermis itself. They are made of dense, mineralized bone, formed by the same class of cells that in other vertebrates give rise to teeth and dentine. A sturgeon is armoured from within, bone grown not inside the body, but through it. And there's more. Mechanical testing published in the IET Nanobiotechnology on the Chinese sturgeon found that the skin layer anchoring those scutes, the stratum compactum, is woven from collagen fibres arranged in a helical stack. The geometry isn't random, it's precision engineering. calibrated by millions of years of selection to do two specific things: resist high velocity puncture and distribute the force of a crushing bite across the body. This animal is not just old, it's optimized. Now here's the question any angler eventually lands on. Why? Why spend that much metabolic energy, carrying that much weight, building a bony fortress, if your life is largely spent vacuuming invertebrates and baitfish from the mud? The answer lies in the early stage of a sturgeon's life. Laboratory studies on juvenile white sturgeon have shown that around 25 millimeters in length, barely an inch, these fish begin developing their sharp dorsal and lateral scutes. And researchers identified those scutes specifically as a likely morphological defense against predation. A separate study in the Transactions of the American Fisheries Society confirmed that as juvenile sturgeon grow and their scutes become more prominent, predation risk measurably decreases. In other words, the Armour works. It's not ornamental, it's a documented, tested survival mechanism. And when you look at the environment this animal evolved in, the logic sharpens further. During the Cretaceous period, rivers were not gentle places. The fossil records show them as hunting grounds for massive crocodilians, ancient bowfins, and predatory sharks that pushed deeper into freshwater systems. The evolutionary pressure on small, slow-growing, bottom-dwelling fish would have been immense. A mouthful of sharp bone is a very effective answer to that problem. But here's where the story gets even more interesting. As the sturgeon grows, and the beluga sturgeon, for example, the largest of the family, holds a record of over 7 meters and 1,500 kilograms, it effectively outgrows its predators. Nothing alive in the river can swallow a fish that size, and the scutes reflect that. We spend a lot of time as anglers obsessing over what's new, the latest rigs or baits. But when you're standing on the bank looking down at a sturgeon, you're looking at a piece of engineering that hasn't needed an upgrade since before the first flower bloomed. Those 5 rows of bony scutes are not decoration. They're a working solution to a problem that has been trying to kill this animal for longer than we can meaningfully comprehend. A solution so effective that it outlasted the Ice Age and every apex predator that ever tried to make a meal of it. The next time you're fortunate enough to watch one of these ancient machines slide back into the water, take a second with it. You're not just releasing a fish, you're releasing something that was already ancient when the world looked nothing like this. And speaking of engineering, if you want to understand how human beings spent thousands of years trying to build the perfect tool to connect us to fish like this, that's exactly where we're going next. The deep and strange evolutionary history of the modern fishing hook. Hit subscribe and I'll see you next time. And until then, stay hooked. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. There are tons more sessions already on the channel if you fancy a binge. And if you want to support the channel and go even deeper, consider joining my memberships. But until next time, stay hooked.